the matchups. Our starting five for both teams. And guys, what are we going to be looking for in this one from Carter?
I love watching him, with the pick and roll, Kevin, because as the ball handler in that scenario, he knows exactly how to use the defense and then set up the screen in advance. That's why he's so effective.
And don't forget now, a walking highlight reel every time he steps on the court. His flair for the dramatic makes him worth the price of admission all by himself.
So for the Mavericks, their last game, a loss to Sacramento. And that does your confidence, guys, no favor. They got manhandled in that one. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, they really struggled to put points on the board throughout that game, guys. And in terms of their offense, nothing seemed to go right.
And once they started spiraling downward, there was no getting out of it, Steve. Their scoring just went dry.
Kicks it out to Ellis. Calderon. And Rudy Gay picks up the foul. That's his first foul. Full 24-second shot clock. Calderon kicks to Nowitzki. Nowitzki can't get that one to fall.
Well, an interesting revelation regarding Rudy Gay came out. He's had vision issues for years and refused to wear corrective lenses, contacts, or goggles. That might explain why a player with such a great looking stroke would struggle with his shooting percentages from outside.
Clock at 4. That's good. Gay's got the game going here with the first basket for the Kings.
It is so hard to contain him. He just seems to get it done however he has to do it.
Again, Doris Burke spoke with Mike Malone. Doris?
One struggle they'll have in this game is finding the right person or combination of players to match up with Dirk. The problem, Coach says, is how do you play someone who can hit jumpers at such a high release point while being quick enough to stay with Dirk when he drives? We'll see if they've come up with any answers, guys.
Always great to hear from you, Doris. Thomas passes to Cousins. Can't get it to go. The Mavericks have gone just 1 for 5 from the field to start the quarter. Ellis with it. Now defended by Thornton. Calderon for 3. Out of bounds. Sacramento takes possession. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. Let's take a look at Dallas. And, of course, Sacramento. 6.5 games behind them. Rudy Gay on the wing. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Gay's got his second basket. Last game for the Kings, they picked up the W against Dallas.
Well, Kevin, they constructed a perfect offensive game plan going into that game, and it was quickly apparent how powerless the defense was to stop it.
Powerless is a good way to put it, Steve. We're unlikely to see that many uncontested baskets again anytime soon.
Thornton, he's guarded by Ellis. And Thornton kicks to Thomas. In low to Cousins. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here.
You know, with the troubles he's had butting heads with coaches and others, you might wonder why the team keeps putting up with Cousins' antics. Well, I'll tell you why. The greater your talent, the longer your rope. Because this kid does have talents.
Gets it to go.
You can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Thornton dishes to Cousins. Outside for Thomas. Back to Cousins. Gallenberg's there. A baseline J. Out of bounds. Dallas takes possession. And the Mavericks making a change here. Marion's checked in. Here's Ellis. 8 points for him. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Ellis has got 10. And Clark, you mentioned Cousins' problems. There were some rumblings last season that the Kings might look to trade him, Steve, and I think there would be some teams that would say, you know what, this is a quality guy that maybe needs a new environment.
I think teams would be very interested in him. The question is, how much would they be willing to give up? Because it is a bit of a risk, not knowing exactly what you're getting. But Cousins, an intriguing talent. There's no doubt about that.
Releases from 15. That's good from Gay on the assist by Thompson. 8 points for Rudy Gay. The drive by Ellis. Here's Nowitzki. Foul called that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
You know, he's not really known for his ability to bang down low on the block, Kevin, but Dirk Nowitzki is, I think, underrated when it comes to his footwork on the post. He gets deep position down there. He knows exactly how to get his shot off against virtually any type of defender.
Yeah, and he doesn't need a perfect look to score. I mean, he can do it over tough defense. His size gives him an advantage, and he's got such an unorthodox array of shots and ways to score over defenders that guys challenging him with their hands in his face usually don't bother him at all.
A minute 42 left to play in the first quarter.
Sacramento really had a lot of problems finding consistency game to game, and it showed up when they would have to take on other teams in the West. Just didn't look quite as cohesive and as desperate to win as the rest of the conference, and that ends up costing you games.
Offensive rebound. Ellis kicks to Blair. Dallas moving it around. Gets it to go.
Textbook right there. Nice pass, great catch, beautiful finish.
For Sacramento, they've gone 6 of 9, shooting it well. Well, Clark, as you said, the Kings struggled against the West, really against Western teams not in their division. They would play the division tough, but didn't do much against, Steve, the other 2 Western divisions.
Well, they only won 14 games against the rest of the conference, which was the fewest of any team in the West last year. But of those 14 wins, 7 came against the Pacific. So that's kind of interesting when you look at the disparity between their wins.
Here's the lob to the hoop. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop. An even 3-on-3 break. He dishes it to McLemore. Back to Gay. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Gay's got 12 in the game.
Now 6 for 8 now with that one, so there's no slowing him down here in the first quarter.
Dishes it to Ellis. Nowitzki right side. Marion. The pass to McHale. Back to Ellis. On the wing, Marion. Just 3 on the clock. Rejected by Outlaw. It's all tied in Sacramento. And so far, it's been a closely contested game as we get the second quarter up and going. And for the Kings, guys, what jumps out to you, stats-wise?
And I like what they've done offensively, really attacking the rim, getting a lot of points in the paint.
And, guys, they've been the aggressor early. I mean, attacking the hoop and getting into the paint, that can make the game really easy for you.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the floor for Sacramento. Up front, it's Thompson and Cousins. Rudy Gay is out there with McLemore. And it's Outlaw in at the 3, the small forward. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Gentlemen, Ben McLemore grew up in poverty in the tough town of Wellston, Missouri, near St. Louis. A tiny house with up to 15 people under one roof. At times, no food, no heat. A single mother working nights to provide. And before his senior year, his high school shuttered for good. Basketball was his one escape. He said, quote, "If you say you're from Wellston, they give you that look. It's just the reputation. It's a hard place to live and grow." But he says even now that he's made it out, I'm never going to forget Wellston. I was born and raised there. It's my heart and my pride. I'm going to give back. I want to build it back to how it was. Guys, what an extraordinary story.
An amazing story. And Doris, good thing it had a happy end. Thank you.
You know, well, the days of the Matrix putting up 22 and 12 with a couple of steals every night are long gone, but Sean Marion is still a big factor for teams. He's such a solid defender with his reach and really causes problems in the passing lanes when he's out.
11th in scoring, and defensively, he's been really good. He ranks in the top 20 in the league in steals.
And, Steve, I think where he's ranked on the rebounding list tells you a lot about his game right now. I mean, he's a smash-mouth blast eater.
And the shot is good. 14 points for Rudy Gay.
That's some tenacity inside, battling for the second chance points.
Calderon kicks to Ellis. Misses off the left iron. And at 35 years of age, Sean Marion still an outstanding rebounder, top 5 among small forwards and rebound rate last season.
And inside, he's very dangerous. He's got a lot of little funky shots, little floaters and runners. He does have the ability to step out and make a three, particularly from the corner, but it's really in the paint where he does his damage.
You know, the Mavs, like many teams, are always aware of who the free agents are that might help them become better. And prior to last season, they made sure they got their finances in order to make a run at Darren Williams to bring him home to Texas. Didn't work out, but they did the same thing this last offseason.
And for the Mavs, they know that in order for them to remain competitive and not go through a traditional rebuilding phase where they're going to finish, at the bottom for a few years, Steve, they're going to have to lure some free agents.
And one way or another, their top brass has always made sure that they would be able to move contracts around and make an offer to whatever big-name player was out there. But think about it. The last 2 years, they had unlimited cap room, unable to lure that big free agent fish to Dallas.
And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. Stolen by Thomas. Pass to Cousins. It's hauled in by Nowitzki.
He's tried to get it going, but the shots just have not dropped for him today.
Calderon with it. Now Thomas defending.
Well, last season was Dirk Nowitzki's 15th in the NBA and maybe his toughest. Right before the start of the season, missed about 2 months of action, and the Mavericks ended up missing the playoffs.
And so Nowitzki nails both of them. Here's Thomas. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Back to Gay. Feeds to Williams. The dish to Gay. And he drew the blocking foul. He'll go to the line for 2. Samuel Gallenberg picks one up. Speaking of Nowitzki, he expressed some concern about the direction of the Mavericks himself last year.
Yeah, after that championship season, they let go of some of their good players, especially Tyson Chandler. But they were trying to free up cap space and lure a top free agent. They were left holding the bag, basically. But Nowitzki wants to retire a Mav, and hopefully they can provide a contender for him.
Here's Thomas, following the score by Vince Carter. Thomas goes in to the inside. It's stolen by Carter. And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Hi, gentlemen. For the Sacramento Kings, a lot of rookies, and not just among the players. A new first-time majority owner, a new rookie GM, and Mike Malone, a first-time head coach. New blood taking over. But for all three, extensive experience in assisting roles, whether assistant coach, assistant GM, or minority ownership. So guys, despite being new to the lead role, none of them lack for experience.
Thanks, Doris. We'll see how they do. Jay Crowder's checked in for the Mavericks. Larkin comes in for Jose Calderon. Larkin, the pass to Crowder. 6 to shoot. He kicks to Dallenberg. And Thompson sends it back. And they'll keep possession. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. Mavericks making a switch here. Pass to Thornton. And taken away by Ellis. Carter with it. Gay picks him up defensively. Carter kicks to Blair. Williams with the steal. Here's Thornton. And that one's good. Thornton's got his first basket of the night. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Kings.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
Well, the other thing I like is defensively, they're causing turnovers, and that's allowing them to get into transition.
Stolen by Carter. .105 left in the first half of the game. He's covered by Gay. Carter dishes to Crowder. Back to Carter. It's hauled in by Thomas.
Typically, guys, he has the body control to finish when he's in that tight. I'm not sure what happened there.
Here's Cousins, and he converts the layup. Cousins has got 6 here in this quarter.
It took him a little while to get into the flow of this game, but now he's definitely found his stride and rhythm.
Ellis, the pass to Carter. And it's Carter again missing.
There's no getting around the simple fact that that's a shot he has to knock down.
So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Way to play in attack mode and get inside.
And you know, if you're on defense and you're going to foul, make sure it's a good one. They did, preventing the and one.
Dallas making a switch here.
How about the job they're doing drawing contact and giving themselves opportunities for free points at the line?
My kind of basketball, Steve. No frills, straight ahead, physical play.
The Mavericks shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
Well, with a team percentage of 81% from the line on the season, this is one of the best free throw shooting teams in the NBA.
And comparing to the numbers of last season, they've made a bit of improvement. So that's some positive momentum they can look to build on.
Here's Thomas. Back to Gay. He gets it up. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. It's all tied in second. And we welcome you back to start the quarter. Players had a chance to get hydrated with Gatorade. And there's certain to be some great basketball ahead for us.
Rudy Gay playing very well. He has 18 points, and he's done his job at the charity stripe. He's gotten 4 of his points from there.
And that's a good place to get them. You know, they don't come easier than that, but you've got to get yourself there first.
On the court for the Mavericks. Calderon is out there with Ellis. Then it's D'Alembert. And there's Clark. And it's Nowitzki in at the power forward position.
Well, the business of the NBA in pretty good stead. The Kings sold back in May for a record price of $525 million, and the Seattle group had offered even more. Team value is certainly on the rise around the league. Better arenas, more lucrative TV contracts. Part of the reason that's the case.
Wow, this has been a thriller. I mean, the way these teams are battling, just going back and forth.
Would you like to bet that this game may end on a buzzer beater? How much would you bet?
Ellis draws the double. Carter kicks to Calderon. And stolen by Thornton. Here's Gay. But they'll get another chance. Williams dishes to Gay. Good, and it's Williams who picks up the assist. 20 points for Rudy Gay.
It seems like they're finding an open lane to the hoop every time down. It's 5 buckets in a row for them in the paint.
Yeah, on the flip side, Steve, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior.
Ellis, he's guarded by Williams. And Nowitzki backs in. He feeds it to Ellis. 5 on the clock. For 3, Calderon. Out of bounds, Sacramento will take possession. What an asset to a team. When you've got big men who can knock down free throws, look here at the top centers and power forwards in terms of free throw percentage this season. Dirk Nowitzki third.
Well, a lot of these big men take the confidence they have in the paint straight to the free throw line.
Yep, some of them do that, exactly, and we can see the reason why in those numbers. In general, the composure of all those players show up at the free throw line. Anytime you see Vince Carter and you start thinking about how he was as the undisputed dunk king in years gone by, but as his spring and lift has been grounded, he's made up for it in other ways and has really improved as a defender.
The Mavericks rebound. Calderon kicks to Nowitzki. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. It's going to be on Rudy Gay. The Mavericks have shot 5 of 6 at the foul line tonight. And the first one drops. And Steve, going back to Clark, he really took the league by storm back with Toronto. Still an NBA player with great quality.
Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything, Kevin. Not the explosive guy that he once was, but he's always been a skill player with his long-range shooting, his ball handling, good passer. That's why he's still hanging around and still making a contribution here in the NBA.
The Mavericks have gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half. There's a whistle and it goes up.
Serious.
McLemore's checked in for Sacramento.
A chance here to take a look at where the Mavericks rank in the NBA.
Easy points, and you get your defense set up at the other end because the clock has stopped.
Rudy Gay's checked in for Sacramento. Thomas with the steal. And it's Thornton finishing it off. And Clark, a great competitive game so far.
Yeah, tit for tat. I mean, back and forth, plenty of lead changes, and excellent play.
These two teams, guys, look so evenly matched to me. I think this could go right down to the wire.
Carter with the three. It's hauled in by the Kings. Cousins has got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Even the teams at the bottom match up well against someone. That was the case here, too.
Well, Kevin, maybe your relative strengths don't show up against a top-tier team, but lower the bar of competition a little bit, and in your own way, you can shine.
That's a good point. Here's Gay. The shot misses. Nice D from D'Alembert.
They've clearly been the better team on the glass. It hasn't necessarily translated to the scoreboard yet.
But you feel like it's going to reward this team at some point. They've got to continue to maintain the energy.
Thomas goes in. Here's Cousins. The shot is off. Some solid D from Nowitzki.
It was a rough year for the Mavs and their fans. The first time since 2012 the Mavericks found themselves out of the playoffs. So the big reason why was they couldn't get the wins they needed on the road.
That was some skill there. Nice use of the bounce pass.
Thomas kicks to Gay. In low to Cousins. Gets the bucket. Cousins has got 4 points in the quarter. And back to the Mavs, 17-24 record on the road. You know, Steve, their struggles as the visiting team, you know, one of the reasons why they were only a 500 team on the season at 41-41.
And even though going 500 isn't a bad year for most, it is when you're the Dallas Mavericks and you're used to playing in the postseason. This was the first time in a long time, in forever, that the Mavs didn't end up in the playoffs.
And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Kings.
Boy, their hounding, harassing efforts at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
You also can't overlook how well they've defended the rim, as they've challenged virtually every shot in the paint.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Tawan Blair, who's checked in for D'Alembert. Jay Crowder comes in for Dirk Nowitzki.
Ownership group committed to keeping the team in sack.
And some changes here for the Mavericks. Samuel D'Alembert, who's checked in for Blair. Nowitzki comes in for Jay Crowder, and Ellington is subbed in for Sean Marion. Ellington kicks to Ellis. Nowitzki left side. Carter outside. On the wing, Ellis. 5 to shoot. And that's out of bounds. Dallas will retain possession. And for all the Kings fans, what a great victory. Former 3-time NBA All-Star and Sacramento native son, Mayor Kevin Johnson, instrumental in securing financing for the new arena, and Steve campaigning with the league's owners to keep the team in Northern California.
I think it surprised everyone, Kevin. Seattle made such a strong bid. I think most people felt the team would end up in Seattle, but Johnson did his job. Sacramento stepped up to the plate. And I think it's great that the Kings get to keep their team, and hopefully Seattle will end up with one in the next couple of years.
For the lead, that's good. Now it's a 3-point Maverick lead.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Carter against Thornton. Kicks it to Cousins. D'Alembert's there. Cousins, the best to Thornton. And the basket good. Thornton's got 6.
Broke out the finger roll, guys. That was kind of a stylish finish.
6-second difference between shot and game clock. Out of bounds, Sacramento will take possession. Isaiah Thomas is checked in for Jimmy Fredette. Sacramento's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. Gay, right side. It's rebounded by Ellington.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going. How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
Well, that's how you send it. 2 hands and hammer it down.
And as we finish the third quarter, it's still close. Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for the Mavericks.
Guys, the passing we've seen from them has been tremendous. Very unselfish.
Now then you throw in the free throws on top of that, and this team really has it clicking.
Thomas and McLemore, the backcourt tandem. Up front it's Thompson and Cousins, and it's Outlaw in at the small forward. So that's the 5 in the game for Sacramento. Whole new group out there. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Kevin, over that last break, I got a chance to hear what Rick Carlisle said to his team. He wants them to pick it up and really go for it right now, saying, no time like the present, gentlemen. Embrace it. Embrace the spotlight, and let's make it happen. Kevin, let's see what they can do.
Now, here's Thomas, following the miss by Monte Ellis. They grabbed their own miss, and plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up. And the first one at the line is good.
You know, even though they're down, they're putting on a show at the free throw line this half.
I think they've done a good job of making the most of their chances at the line, and they've got to keep it up to take the lead.
And back to the Mavs, definitely a big move by them to reach out like that. Nothing like bringing crowdsourcing to the NBA and building a bridge, you know, Steve, with your fan base.
You know, Kevin, I had a chance to see some of the designs of the uniforms that were being suggested. Some pretty sharp-looking duds, but there were some other ones that were absolutely hideous. So let's hope the decision-makers in the Mavs organization pick some of the, let's say, the more clean-looking new uniform suggestions.
Al Carter, after the missed 3 from Thornton. There's a whistle, and it goes on Isaiah Thomas. That will get him his 4th foul of the game.
That 4th foul might force him to scale back the aggression defensively a little bit. He does not want to pick up number 5.
Now here is Carter, the 10-footer. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Now it's a 6-point Maverick lead.
That's a nice job of getting the ball in the paint and burying the shot. That's exactly how it's done.
Thomas dishes to Gay. The bucket is good. He'll have a chance for one more. That's on Monte Ellis.
And I'll say this about him, Kevin. I mean, it looks like he's made of rubber sometimes because defenders just bounce off him when he's driving the lane. What a finisher.
And he's also a guy, Steve, whose confidence is not very easily shaken. That's an important quality to have. He'll miss a few shots in a row, but they're not going to cause him to doubt himself. Not in the least.
Gay can't get it to go.
It's the kind of defense required when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were right in his face.
And it's Carter penetrating. Gallenberg kicks it out to Ellis. It's tipped. From deep. Rebound by the Kings.
Boy, I'm shocked he didn't make that one. He usually knocks that one down with ease.
Lays out. Out of bounds. Dallas takes possession. DeJuan Blair. He's checked in for Dallas. 4th quarter of play, and we're about 2.5 minutes through it right now. Ellis against Thomas. Back to Ellis. Deflected. And Dallenberg kicks to Calderon. It's Vince Carter on the wing. Offensive rebound Mavericks.
Multiple possessions have been the story of the game, and even with the big lead, this team continues to be quicker to the ball.
He had to clear some space for himself to get that rebound. Not easy in there among the big bodies.
That's good. And that's 15 points for DeMarcus Cousins.
Nothing too fancy, just simple execution. That's getting the job done when they need to make every possession count.
I agree, Clark. They need stops, and they can't afford any wasted possessions. Those inside shots are really high percentage looks.
The Kings trailing. Right side, Thomas. Back to Gay. That's good. And it's Thomas picking up the assist. Thomas got his 7th assist of the game with that last one. Dallas has gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the 4th quarter. Calderon kicks to Carter. The finger roll finish at the bucket. And the Mavericks lead by 1. For Sacramento, they've gone 3 of 6 from the field so far in the fourth quarter. McLemore, the pass to Williams. He's working on Nowitzki. Passes it to Fredette. Tries to keep it alive. And that's out of bounds. Sacramento will retain possession.
8 seconds of the shot clock. 8.
Gay with it, and it's Carter picking him up. Shot clock at 6. 13 feet away. And he can't bank that one in. The Mavericks leading. Ellis outside. Back to Nowitzki. And that's out of bounds. Dallas will retain possession. The Kings making a switch here. Cousins is checked in. Ellis. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact in. It's on DeMarcus Cousins.
Easy call there.
No question about that one. You can hear the impact from where I am.
So he gets them both, and it's a 3-point game.
Boy, still waiting for their first miss from the foul line this half.
100% since halftime, is that right? I'm not sure this lead's going away anytime soon if that keeps up. Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
Carter with it. Now defended by McLemore. That drive by Carter. Nice D from Cousins. The Kings have gone 4 of 8 in this fourth quarter, shooting at even 50% from the field. Here's Gay. Second shot opportunity, and Cousins puts it back in. Cousins has got 4 points this quarter.
Really not hard to see why they're giving up points on this run. I mean, they've just given them too many looks inside.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting pounded in there. The defense not offering much resistance. They've got to force the ball back out to the perimeter.
Here is Williams. The Mavericks making the shot. The feed to Fredette. Deflected. And taken away by Ellis. For the finish. Money!
Nowitzki, what an offensive force he can be.
There's 48 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Fredette dishes to McLemore. He passes to Fredette. Shot from 12. Feeds it to McLemore. Gives him the lead pass. Out of bounds. Dallas will take possession.
Oh, that certainly could be costly. In a close one, those kinds of mistakes can really give the other team momentum.
And some changes here for the Mavericks. Alan Bear comes in for DeJuan Blair. And it's Calderon in for Wayne Ellington. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Ellis against Thomas. The time for the guys. What do you think?
If I was coaching, I'd tell them to put pressure on the ball and go for the steal. If that doesn't work, then foul.
Smart foul there. You've got to try to extend the game.
Yeah, it's still close, but they're fighting that clock as much as the score right now.
First free throw is good, and that makes it a 3-point lead. And so he drops them both. It's a 4-point ballgame.
And that's
what's your take, guys?
I think the coach is telling them here to just take the easy points in a hurry, and then you got to foul right away.
I don't think they necessarily need to just foul blindly right away here. You'll go for a steal before you send one of us to the foul line.
So it's a narrow victory for the Mavericks, pulling out the W. It was tight, but they managed to come up with the win.
You know, nobody wants to lose a close game, Kevin.